name is Betty Kirote, and welcome to another episode of Disability Awareness Podcast. This is a platform where I share my stories and experiences as a person with disability, with the view of creating disability awareness and reducing the stigma that is associated with disability. Yes, and Happy New Year, guys. This is the first episode of 2026, like the one that I'm recording this year. And yeah, for today's episode, we are going to talk about some assumptions that people make about persons with disabilities. So, and the first assumption is that persons with disabilities are constantly struggling. I don't know why, or I don't understand. I'm not sure like what informs that assumption, but it's you find that people assume like when you have a disability, whatever disability you have, you are always struggling. For example, maybe someone is just using their hearing aids, someone is, for example, if someone is blind, they're being held their hand like to assist them move around. And the assumption when people see you, they assume you are struggling. Yet, this is our reality. Like, I feel like this is part of how we live. It is a way or a mechanism that we've adopted. Some of these things are just there to help us navigate life. It does not mean like when someone maybe is holding a person who is blind their hand to help them move. Now when you see them, you just assume that person is struggling. No, that is just how their life is. That is how life is. It doesn't mean that, it does not mean like a person with disability always lives in misery or it's a tragedy having a disability. Some of things that happen or um, if maybe someone is in a wheelchair and they are moving around, that is just a way of helping them overcome the disability. It does not mean that that person is struggling. If you talk to them or if you engage them, you will most probably find out that they are happy and they are comfortable in their body, with their lives, just the way their life is. They are just happy and they are comfortable in the way they are doing their life. So that is the first assumption, and I feel like yeah, you shouldn't assume. The best thing sometimes is just be curious, and you can ask questions to understand. Assumption number two is that persons with disabilities always need help. The truth is, living with disability is difficult, or having a disability is difficult. And majority of the time, you will need assistance or support to do one, two, three things here and there. But it does not mean that one cannot have some level of independence. There's that there's a way like persons with disabilities are able to live independently, are able to do things by themselves. What we need is support, like to overcome the challenges that come with having a disability. For instance, I would say maybe let me use myself. I'm in a matatu, or I've just gone somewhere to buy some groceries or to do some shopping, and then when it comes to paying, you find someone telling you, give me your phone, I put the number. You see, the assumption they have made is that I need that help. Yet I just need the best thing is to maybe ask me what support I need. For example, you can read me the number, because the till number most probably is written on the wall or somewhere. That, and because of my disability, I cannot see the number. So the best thing is to support with reading the number. Just don't assume that I need you now to dial the number. Some of us or don't even like giving our phones out or people touching our things. But yeah, so it's not necessarily like all the times a person with disability needs help. Sometimes it's just important to ask that you understand. And other times, maybe someone is in their house, they are within their comfort, a place that they are comfortable to move around or to do their stuff. And you will find, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's good that you're kind or you're helpful, but sometimes just let a person with disability be. Let them do life, let them have that independence, because you may be in your house, maybe you have people around, When you want to go get them water or get them a cup of tea, someone does not even allow you to do something as simple as that. It's not a bad thing, but it doesn't. The point here is that we don't always need help. There are things that we are able to do by ourselves. Assumption number three is that persons with disabilities are unable or incapacitated. I don't know if incapacitated sounds like a strong word, a very strong word to use, but you know the famous saying that a disability is not inability. I'll just use that saying to emphasize the point. Like, when a person is with disability, it doesn't mean like they are completely unable to do anything for themselves or by themselves. Um, as I have said, what mostly PWDs need is support to help them overcome the disability. But majority of the things, if it's working, if it's cooking, if it's cleaning, or we are different. There are those you will find are comfortable doing their own laundry. Others are able to cook. We can work, we can function like we are functional human beings, of course depending with the disability. But the assumption that a person with disability is completely unable to do things or to lead a comfortable or dignified life, that one is a very, I feel like it's a very wrong assumption, and mostly informed by maybe the stigma or the beliefs that people have around disability. The fourth assumption is persons with disabilities are strong. Well, it's a positive assumption, but it's very problematic because people assume that when they see a person with disability, they assume that that person is strong. But really, are we strong, or are we just surviving? Like, is it a something that we need to survive? Like, for example, myself. Let me use myself as an example. There are times I don't want to. I don't want to do things. I don't even want to get out of my house. Sometimes when I imagine maybe I want to go somewhere to buy some stuff for myself, and I have to think about it. Like, I have to think before I leave my house. How am I going to get there? I need an Uber maybe. Like, when I get there, what am I? Will I look for someone to assist me pick the groceries? You see, so sometimes I feel like I just need to be strong, like to show up for myself. I need that strength. I need to show up for myself, not because I want to, but because the circumstances force me to be. So it's not like we are strong. Don't assume we are strong. Maybe someone is struggling with something. Maybe we are not. It's just something that you need to do to cope or to move on with your life, but does not necessarily mean that you are strong. Assumption number four is that persons with disabilities are sick. There are those people who assume, like when they see a person with disability, maybe it's someone with hearing impairment, someone who is maybe in a wheelchair, someone who is blind like me, you assume that that person is sick. While in real sense, that person is not sick. Maybe someone was born blind, someone was born with hearing impairment, or someone was maybe the reason why they became physically disabled is something, maybe they were involved in a tragic accident, something just happened and they can no longer walk, they need a wheelchair, or they need the uh, what are they called, crutches, yes, to move around. So it doesn't mean they are sick. Maybe someone was sick at the beginning, but it does not mean they are now sick throughout their lives. That is a terrible assumption. Like, maybe let me say I have glaucoma. I was diagnosed with glaucoma when I first started having eye problems, but that does not mean I am sick. Well, sometimes my eye will will disturb me, like they will have problems here and there. But my body, every other part of my body, I am functional, I am healthy, I am like, I am doing well when it comes to health wise, to matters health. So it doesn't mean persons with disabilities are sick. For some disabilities, it's different. It depends. Maybe someone maybe is in constant pain because of their disability. So it just varies. Not every person with disability is sick. Let's just put it like that. Assumption number 5 is that all persons with disabilities are talented. Yes, it's common to find people saying that, you guys, you persons with disabilities are special. You're very talented. Yet, I'm like, every other person is talented. Like, people have different talents, whether you are disabled or not. What I find weird though is that someone will tell you, you guys are normally very talented because you can hear, like you have sharp hearing, or maybe you can smell things that they cannot they cannot smell. Like, I'm like, it's not a talent. You cannot say like that is a talent. That is maybe an heightened sense that comes with maybe having the disability. You see, once you acquire a disability, or maybe you're born with a disability, there are things that I believe happens. Some senses become stronger than others. I don't know if it's with everyone, but for example, myself, I'm able to hear and smell things. Well, people around say that my hearing sense is heightened, or the smell, because, and I normally associate that now with the lack of sight. So it's like it compensates now, like the lack of sight now, the hearing and the smelling being overly sensitive, or you are able to sense things around you. You can tell something is around by just sensing. So I feel like those are just, we cannot call that talent. It's just things that come as coping mechanisms, or just things that happen after now you get the disability. So saying that persons with disabilities are talented, I feel like that is a mistaken belief or assumption. Of course, there are some who are talented. They are good singers. They are good with running or playing whatever games they are playing, but it doesn't mean it's because they have the disability. Remember, we are first human beings before we are persons with disability. So it's just like normal, no normal for, it's normal the way any other person without a disability has a talent. There are those who are good at singing, there are those who are good dancers, there are those who are talented in art. Like, I feel it's the same. It does, the disability label, that one, I feel like it's not really necessary. It's not, it's just an assumption that people make. Then the sixth assumption is that persons with disabilities are non-sexual, or do not have sexual feelings. This one is a very common one, and it informs the belief that persons with disabilities cannot be parents, or when even they become parents, people find them to be like unfit parents. That is why we have even cases of people in the society being their children being taken away simply because they are a person with disability. So that is a very wrong assumption about disability. The only thing that that maybe we can say is a challenge to a person with disability is their disability, like the specific disability that they have, which majority of the cases you'll find they have the measures, or they have adopted measures that help them now overcome that challenge. If it's for me, maybe moving around, I'll need an assistant, or I'll need to use an Uber, I'll need to use my white cane when crossing the road, such things. But it does not affect any other thing or any other function within my body, or how I function as a human being. Only those limitations which we overcome through assistance and support here and there. So yeah, and also some things may be difficult. Of course, for example, if it's parenting, you've heard from previous episodes, people share their stories about parenting, how they take care of their children as a person with disability. It's different, and it's kind of difficult to some extent, but it does not mean it's not possible. So that assumption that a person with disability is non-sexual, they're non-sexual being, or they are not able to become parents is a wrong assumption. And I think we need to get rid of that assumption by finding out information, by maybe reading, just find a way to educate yourself, or to even ask the persons with disabilities that you're involved with, so that you find out more about them. Then assumption number 7 is that persons with disabilities need to be fixed, or they need to be healed, or they need to be normal. Uh, People assume, I find that people assume that when you are with a disability, you need to be healed or you need to get better. Well, for some, I will not speak for everyone, but I know for majority, people have already accepted their situations, their circumstances, their realities, like how they do their lives. They are okay with that. But now you find there are those who just want to fix you. They want to heal you. They want to find like the best doctor. Someone you just meet with someone, it's just random, and they start advising you, have you heard of this doctor? I know there's this new technology that can help of do this and that. You see, that is unsolicited. First, it's unsolicited advice, and second, you've assumed that someone wants to get better. Some of us don't want to get healed, like we are comfortable, and some of us are, as I said, we are not sick. Like someone who was born maybe with hearing impairment, someone who was born blind, like now you want to tell them there's a pastor who is coming. There's someone, I remember there's a time I used to live somewhere in Rongai, and I used to have a friend, a driver friend that used to assist me on my way to work. At that time, I think I was a pupil. Yeah, they used to assist me every morning, sometimes maybe in the evening. But now there's a famous pastor from, I think it was from Nigeria, who was coming to Kenya, and they were having an event in Nyayo. And I remember that person went out of their way, because I think I was not picking my phone, but they went out of their way to make sure they learned, or they got to know where I stayed. They sent someone to come and tell me that this pastor is coming, so I want you to come, and they go and pray for you. You see, they assumed all along, and imagine it's someone that we are interacting with often, and they never got to ask me whether I wanted to get better. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but they never asked me whether I wanted to get healed, or I wanted someone to pray for me. But they went out of their way to make sure someone came to fetch me at my house. But I like respectively declined, because I did not want to be healed. Like personally, I feel like I'm comfortable with my life. I have learned how to live with my disability. I have accepted the fact that by the time I got to where, the time I got to go to the hospital and the treatment started, the optic nerve was already damaged. So there's nothing that can be done. So even if you come with telling me with all there's this new technology, or there's these pastors due from where, I am comfortable. So, and it is true for majority of persons with disabilities. They are okay with their lives the way they are. They don't need fixing. They don't need healing. So before you engage or you start like looking for solutions to someone's disability, the most polite thing to do is maybe ask, find out where they are at, whether they need fixing, whether they want to get healed, and everything else. Assumption number 8 is that all persons with disabilities are the same. Yes, people assume that all persons with disabilities are the same. But as I said earlier, that we are first human beings before we are with disabilities. Like before now, the disability comes in, we are human beings first, which means we want different things, we like different things, we enjoy different things. Like, we're not the same. Some of us are introverted, others are extroverts. So you cannot assume, like, maybe your interactions with some persons with disabilities are they don't like going out. They are comfortable staying within their like space. They don't want to interact. They don't want that to be outside as much, which is okay, because also we have other persons with disabilities, without disabilities I mean, who are introverts. So it's the same for for us with disabilities. So there are those who are introverts, there are those who are extroverts. So you cannot assume that persons with disabilities don't like being outside. Some enjoy being out, some want to go out and dance, some want to do their own things. There's someone who is comfortable with you going out and shopping for them, like doing their shopping without like having going out with them. And someone else, maybe like me, I want to go, I want to be involved in that process because I want to choose things for myself. I just need you to help me choose, but I want to be involved in in that process. And then there are those who are better with directions. You cannot assume like all of us are the same. Some of us, for example, if for visual impairments, there are those who are so good with directions. You will find that someone can comfortably get out of their house and get to the main road, or just walk around within their neighborhood without getting lost, or without interfering or tampering with things around. But for some of us, it's chaotic. Like myself, I am very poor with directions. Like, you leave me within my house or within a place that's a homestead, like somewhere that I'm used to, I will walk comfortably. Those are, I am not able to keep like a straight line. That is the challenge. So, but some can comfortably walk around, come move, and they will remember the way they went and come back the same way. So we are not the same. We are also based on our experiences, how you were brought up, like at what stage did you acquire your disability. So these things shape how we interact, or how we live like our lives as adults, or even as children. So everyone's experience is different. Everyone is living or experiencing their life in a very different way. So you cannot like generalize and say that we are all the same. Then assumption number 9, I hope it's number 9. I am really mixing them up. Assumption number 9 is that all persons with disabilities, like when they express their emotions or distress, especially negative emotions like anger, it's because of disability. There are those who will associate, like if I throw tantrums, or not myself, if a person with disability throws tantrums, or they are angry, or they just expressing their emotions, or they are in distress, or they are frustrated, you assume it's because of the disability. Yet these are normal human beings' emotions. We all have these emotions, whether you have the disability or not. A person without a disability gets angry, gets frustrated, and there is nothing, like, you won't put anything, you won't label, you will have nothing like to say it's because of this and that. But if it's a person with disability, say, it's because of disability, that is why they are reacting like that. Or just get used to them, they normally react like that. Come on, it's just a normal expression of emotion or frustration. It has nothing to do with the disability. Then the 10th assumption is that persons with disabilities need sympathy. Well, this one is is how, I think it's how the society treats persons with disability, as people who need to be helped, people who need like what is it called? You have to like really be sympathize with them, or show them pity, which is not the case. What we need is understanding. What we need is empathy. Like, you should be able to understand like some of the challenges that come, like what are the best ways in which you can help or assist someone without necessarily making them feel like you feel sorry for them because they have that disability or because they are with the disability. So yeah, that is what I'll say. Be understanding, be empathetic, like understand, and don't feel sorry for persons with disabilities. Yes, and I guess that is where we stop today's episode. I hope you find the content or the episode helpful or informative. Yes, and share it with your friends. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.